Today's topic of discussion is career women. So in society, right, there's all these career women, all these boss babes, all these bad bee type, all this nonsense going around in society, and a lot of women are trying to follow this trend of, oh yeah, I need to be career driven, I need to have a career, and I need to, get money, and I need to get status and all these things there, because if I don't do that, then I'm not of value. So we're going to be discussing some key issues with these kind of women here, and how these are the kind of women who are low quality, and these are the type of women who you want to avoid. So first point is masculine. So these career women, these boss babes, they're so masculine, it's as though you're talking to a bloke. So if you look at all these women, right, who are in these high positions, right, in the company, when it comes to this career, right, they've spent 15 years, 20 years into it. So look at the 30-year-olds, look at the 40-year-olds, and you look at their characteristics and look at their behavior, you see how these women here are very masculine. So they're very argumentative. They are women who are very stubborn and they're stuck in their ways. These women here, they don't want to cooperate. They're not submissive. And these are the type of women here who are predominantly single. So they're single and they're just been in these relationships, right, with these other beta males. And then the beta males have been accepting the masculine behavior. And then these are the type of women who are also the women who like to be dominant in the relationship. So they see it as, this links back to the feminist side of it. So these are the women who are the career women. They're very feministic. So they have these feminist views of the man needs to pay his bills, right? So, and he needs to pay my bills. But then the money that I get as well, I need to be able to spend my own money. And then she expects the guy to take on half of the household chores as well, take care of the kids, and do all of this type of craziness. So these modern day relationships, they don't work. Yeah. So if you look at the test of time, right, which is for thousands of years, they have been predominantly traditional gender roles. Now, if you don't know what a traditional gender role is, it just shows that you're somebody who has been brainwashed, because traditional gender roles is something which society is not really talking about nowadays. They're just talking about men and women being 50-50. So if you don't know what it is, I'd recommend checking out my other video when it comes to traditional gender roles, and then doing some research on that. But yeah, going back to it. So these women here, they're very masculine. So these women here, they don't want to cooperate with you. These women here, they want to have it their own way. And these are the type of women who will prioritize her career over the relationship. So the problem is, in society here, you got so many women who are chasing this career pathway, and they're thinking that, oh yeah, if I spend from 18 to 24, which is the best years of their relationship, it's the best years of their life when it comes to picking a partner. So a man of value, right? Men of value look for women between the ages of 18 to 24. These women here are wasting those years, and then they're spending that trying to get education, get a job, get a career. And then once they've gotten their career, when they get to, once they finish the university, by the time they're like 23, 24, 25, they've wasted all those years. They weren't looking for a relationship. They were so focused on studying, and getting a job, and working and getting money, that when it comes to hitting that age now, so 24, 25, they are thinking to themselves, why isn't guys just lining up for me? Guys are not lining up for them. Is because the guys of value are looking at the women who are younger, so 18, 19, 20. So those are the women who are predominantly getting the most amount of attention. These women, they need to realize, right, they only have a set period of time, and that set period of time there is very critical to use your best years. So as men develop themselves, as they build their character, as they develop their purpose, and they're constantly working on themselves, that's going to take several years, and then their value is going to increase. However, for women, it's the opposite. Women, their value goes down. So from the marriage market perspective, the value goes down, and it becomes more difficult for a woman to get married. So these kind of women are from the stats as well. So there's a stat by Morgan Stanley as well. So funny enough, Morgan Stanley, a lot of these women are working for them. So there's a Morgan Stanley investment bank. They done a study on it. So they said that by 2030, 50% of all women, so in the UK and the US, right, will be single and childless. So from the ages of 24 to 44, so 50% of them. So that means 1 in 2 people, 1 in 2 women will have no relationship and they won't have any kids, and that's very concerning. So depopulation is on a rise right now in the UK and in the US, and they're going to be suffering from population problems. That's what's going to be happening. And then when the population problem is going to happen, guess what? When it comes to your pension, when it comes to, you know, getting into your 60s and 70s, don't expect anybody to be paying you out and the government to be paying you out, because they're not going to be doing that. So if you look at it right now, the pension scheme right now, so if you're in your 20s, right, your pension is pretty much going to be non-existent by the time you get to around 60, 70. So you guys need to start seeing that and be like, okay, cool, that's right there, something which is a scam. What they're trying to do is they're getting people in to sign up to all these pension schemes, and then the pension schemes ain't really going to be paying out later on. So these masculine women, they're going to have these masculine tendencies here. You can just keep them on the side. So a lot of these guys in the videos, right, I seen in the relationship side of it, they're talking about, oh yeah, for, you know, use and abuse these women here, like have, you know, intimacy with these kind of women, and they don't take them seriously. I do not recommend any of that. So any type of woman who is not on the same page as you, and a woman who doesn't align with your values in life, do not communicate with her and do not give her any attention. Don't be that scumbag. Don't be that, you know, waste man who's just sleeping with these kind of low quality women, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try and find a high quality woman. God doesn't reward that, and he doesn't reward fornication. So that's important. So next point after that is selfish. So a lot of these women who are career women, they're very, very selfish. So they are so focused on the career, right, and their job, and then when it comes back home, right, they're so drained and they're so knackered that they don't want to do any household work and household chores. So they'll be complaining with their partner, right? Oh, you know, you haven't done the household chores, or you haven't done the work and stuff like that. And then he's been working his 9 to 5 and doing his hours. And then when he comes home as well, he's also knackered. And then they're both bickering with each other and they're both arguing with each other. That's what the problem is, because they're both spending all the hours outside. And when it comes to their kids, right, the kids are being thrown into daycare centers. This is what's shocking. This was sickening about society. I don't have no respect for these kind of guys here. So these guys here, these men and women who are just chucking their kids, like 1 year old, some of them are like 6 months, years old, 1 year old, 2 years old, into daycare. And these people here are just running off to their jobs. It's like, how can you just go to work and then you've got another child, yeah? You've got your own child in a daycare center, yeah? And then that guy, whoever's in the daycare center, you don't know who he is. You could be all types of sickos out there, so men and women. There's been, you know, numerous different, you know, convictions of people who have been working in these kind of, you know, daycare centers, and they've done, you know, all types of indecent activities with the children. And these people here are just going on and thinking, oh, let's make some money. It's like, you're spending excess amount of money on daycare centers, like crazy amounts, hundreds and like thousands, you know, a month, you know, whatever the case is, yeah. And then you're making that pretty much from your job. It doesn't make any sense. Why don't you just be a woman who actually takes care of your children and actually sits down and be like, oh yeah, you know what, forget about my career for now. Let me just focus on raising my children. Now, these women here, they don't want to do that. And these men here who are allowing that type of behavior, it just shows you these kind of guys here, they're not men. This is what it's men of value and men who are actually seeing the game for what it is. They don't want their children being thrown into daycare centers and to be influenced by the system. The more time that a child spends away from the home, right, and is around the system, right, so the people in the daycare centers, school system, universities, so on, right, that's all indoctrination within the child. The child is learning all these kind of things around other children as well, who are also being indoctrinated, and those type of environments create toxic children. And that's why you see a lot of children and a lot of teenagers, they're being so disrespectful and disobedient towards their mom and dad. It's like because the mom and dad wasn't predominantly there during their childhood. That's why the child don't respect them, you know. So these type of women here, they're very selfish. So anytime you've seen any woman here, she's saying, oh yeah, I'm career orientated, you know, I want to do this and that. Those type of women, you just want to avoid them, because you know full well, right, she's gonna have a lot of masculine qualities and she's going to be very selfish when it comes to raising your children. She might not even have children. That was the next point after that. She might not even want to have children, and she may have maybe one or two at most, and that's about it. And then she'll just turn around and say, "No, I don't want any more." And then she'll get you to look after the children as well, whilst you're working your job as well. So next point after that is divorce. If you look at the divorce cases in society, right, the women who are the richest women in the world, right, so the top 10, look at where they got their money from. They pretty much divorced all the billionaires. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these guys, right? These women here have literally just sucked these beta males' money dry, taken half of their money and stripped them of all of their assets. So like billions and billions and billions. So when these women here are saying, oh yeah, you know, men and women can, you know, contribute, and men and women can do just as much in society, look at the women and see where they get their money from. So the richest women in the world, yeah, they haven't gotten it by doing it themselves. They've gotten it by stealing it from another man. That's what it is. So these women here, they're coming along and saying, oh yeah, you know, I can make it on my own, I can do this and that. It's like, yeah, go ahead, go and try and do that. You will not become the richest woman in the world, because if you try and become the richest woman in the world, you'll need to steal that from another billionaire who's a man. So this is where it is. These people here, they need to realize, right, that divorces are prevalent in society, and it's happening more and more in societies, because these career women are going along and saying, oh yeah, I can replace this guy and I can get another guy who can earn more than him. So that's what the truth and that's what the reality is. The reality is you can't. A woman can't do that. Do you understand? So there's only a set amount of percentage of men who are earning above six figures. I think it's like around, it's less than 10% or something like that. So what was it? So here in UK, right, I think it was like 10% of men are earning more than £63,000 in the year. So 10%. 50% of people, all men and women, are earning around 25,000. So 1 in 2 people is earning 25,000 a year, and then top 30% after that was around 37,000, and then top 20% was about 45, and then top 10% was £63,000 or more. So for a woman to come along and say, oh yeah, I can get that guy and I can replace him with another high earner, it's not really going to be happening. So that's what the reality is. And then the final point is no kids. So these career women, they don't want to have any kids. They're so career orientated that when it comes to family, when it comes to kids, they're like, nah, I don't want to have kids yet, not yet. I want to travel the world, I want to get my money, I want to get all these materialistic possessions, I want to get all these experiences, and I want to get this all out of my system. And then I'll think about kids later on. And these beta males are just going along with this, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just going to go accordance to what the woman's telling me. You know, these guys here have no backbone, no principles, no nothing, no masculine frame, nothing. They're going in accordance to what the women's timeline is. The problem is when you're going in with the woman's timeline, guess what? She's being controlled and dictated by her emotions. So her emotions are telling her what to do. So you, as a man who's a leader in a relationship, you shouldn't be going anywhere near these type of career women who are career dominating, and then they're so career orientated that when it comes to the kids, right, they don't want to have any kids, or they want to delay having kids for as long as possible. That's going to create problems when it comes to yourself as well, for your own needs, because your own needs as a man is procreation. So those are the two things there: survival and procreation. Do you understand? This is all human instincts, but for some reason the system has controlled and brainwashed people so much that people are thinking that, oh yeah, you know, why should I have kids, or I don't need to have kids. I know certain guys, I'm speaking to them at work, they're like to me, oh yeah, I don't want to have kids, or, you know, me and my partner, we've both agreed that we don't want to have children. Just like, I can't understand that thought process. It's just sick. These people, and you speak to them as well, a lot of them, they ain't got no morals or values anyway. These people are very self-centered. That's what it is. That's what I've seen with these people here. The people who don't want to have kids, right? The people that are self-centered. And these type of people here, yeah, you want to just like keep your distance from them, because them kind of people there, they're lost in life. So having children is a fundamental instinct within all men and women. So don't let society come along and tell you that, oh yeah, you know, you don't have to have kids, or it's not it's not good to have kids, or kids is too much money and this and that. This is all programming to people to get people to not have children. That's what it is. So then when you don't have children, right, your legacy just dies right there. That's it. You ain't got no legacy after that. And then after that, when it comes to your money, what are you going to do with it? You're just going to keep spending it on yourself. So this is what it is. So when you have kids, right, you're going to want to spend your money on your children, right? You're going to want to give. That's what it is when it comes back to giving to other people. These people here, these career women, right, they're so focused on just spending on themselves. And then when it gets to around 35 plus years old, they are past it. So they hit that, what's it called? Postnatal or something like that. I don't know what the exact term is. But around 35 years old, a woman can't have children anymore. So when it gets to that point there, that's it. It's pretty much just done, isn't it? So just to wrap up, these career women, they're very masculine. So they've got masculine qualities within them. So they're very assertive in who they are. They don't want to follow your lead. They don't want to follow your program. And they are women who are very, very argumentative. They don't want to get on the same program as you. So these are the type of women here. They're very masculine. So it's like having another masculine man in your house. When you got another man in your house, right? So you as a masculine man, one of you is going to compromise. So you're going to start to become feminine then. Because that's what happens with a lot of these guys in society. They become feminine because these guys here are around other masculine women. So when you're around a masculine woman, guess what? You're going to become feminine. So this is what it is. So these guys here, so a real masculine man is somebody who he's going to be attracted to feminine women. Do you understand? Because that's the type of women he attracts. He doesn't attract masculine women. These beta males, right? They're attracting masculine women. That's what the problem is. Next point after that was selfish. So these women here, they're very selfish in terms of their own views. They want to indulge in their own experiences. They want to go on holidays. They want to go and travel the world. They want to go and do this and that. They want to focus on making money, as much money as they can. They want to, have all these experiences. They're not focused on, being family orientated and having children. They want to do their own thing, and then they expect you to pay for everything as well. So those type of women, they're just leeches. And the next point after that was divorce. So the most divorce cases, pretty much all the women, right, who have divorced men, right, if you look at the richest women in the world, they've all divorced men who are billionaires, and they've taken their assets from them. So when they've taken the assets from them, that's it. They've become the wealthiest women in the world. So by them, dummies. And then the final point was no kids. So these women here who are career orientated, these women here, if you look at them, they're just going to die alone. They have a cat or a dog, and that's it. And that's all they have. So I thought it's getting a bit dry right now. So that's what it is. I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.